my name is Ekama Inanga. I'm the last child of my parents, Professor and Mrs. Inanga, and the only daughter. I moved to the Netherlands in 2006 after my first degree, and I currently still live here. As a result, I had the privilege of being with my dad until about half an hour before he passed away. I still remember the moment when I got the phone call. It was a very sad moment. It still haunts me to this day. Dad passed away on the 31st of May 2019 at the age of 80. Yes, he lived a long and fulfilled life. I will continue to miss him though. My mother, Inanga, was by his side almost daily, ever since he got into the nursing home and right up until the end. She must miss him dearly. They both lived very fulfilled lives, coming from humble beginnings, yet building a life together, raising a family together, and touching the lives of several thousands of people across the globe. As you go on this journey with me, I would like you to be inspired by some of the principles my father lived by. He was always honest, had a passion for education, and always encouraged us to do our best. He didn't always attend church, but was deeply spiritual and kept close to his God. I remember him praying every day, twice a day, and reminding us of God's grace and how important it is to have a relationship with our Creator. At the time of his death, Dad was Professor Emeritus, which is the highest title you could get in academia, which was his field. So how did he go from a little village in Ukum to this professor who's been respected all around the world? Just before Dad died, he lost the ability to speak. I'm very fortunate to have some of the recordings that he made just before his passing. You can hear his voice getting weaker and weaker, but it's a wonderful privilege to hear him tell his stories of his early beginnings.
What moves in a mysterious way is wonderful things to perform. He plants his foot upon the waters and rides upon the storm. So the saying goes. This is equally applicable to this could hardly have been more applicable than to my education. I was the first male born of the family. The second born was female. But she died before she was 4 years old. Then shortly after that, my mother got pregnant again and nursed the pregnancy. In our village, and took me to live with her mother. There I saw children going about naked and decided to strip off to be like them. Then I saw that I noticed that I was different, and I wanted, since most of them were girls, I wanted to convert myself into a girl. But my mother called me with a matted, trying to cut off my male organs. She shouted at me, and Mattis disappeared. I started crying, and I wanted to be like the little girl that was running about naked. I didn't know that my mother was pregnant, and it wasn't long afterwards when she was born. When my sister was born, she gave birth to my sister and brother and showed me that girls are born girls and boys are born boys. And boys are not first-born boys, and their organs cut off and they become girls. I became wiser then. Shortly after that, we went back to my village on 1st January 1946. After New Year's service, we returned to the village. And my father called me to the bedroom and asked me to put my right hand across my head and touch my left ear. When I did that successfully, he told me that I would start school the following week. So, sometime in January, about 5th January, I started primary school at Inanga Group School. That was when I started school.
Dad goes on to tell me about his primary school days. He spent 5 years in primary school instead of 7 because he got promoted twice, once in 1946 and again in 1948. To help to save some money, he became a houseboy to the principal, Mr. A.S. Ekpo. Dad explains that Nigeria was a British colony, so they were educated in the British system. And he recalls a story that he vividly remembers, which took place on May 24. May 24 was marked as Empire Day. During the morning assembly on May 24, 1946, a senior boy was asked to recite the British national anthem, which was then the Nigerian national anthem. He could not recite more than 2 lines. Then the headmaster, Mr. T.A. Umo, asked for a volunteer, and I put up my hand. Listen to Dad's vivid recollection of what happened next.
He was invited to the front of the assembly hall to recite the national anthem, which was the British national anthem. I
What Dad was trying to say there was that the boy got 6 strokes of the cane. He told me the rest of the story and I will narrate it to you. He says, after the close of assembly, the boy organized some groups to wait for me after school and beat me up. On the way back from school, as I was about to cross the stream to go home to the village, the boys emerged from the bush and started to beat me up. Before they could go on for long, Godwin James, a boy from school, was also returning home from school and saw the boys beating me up. He rescued me and drove the boys away. He asked what I did. I told him. We were from the same village and his father was an elder from Kwaibo Church, my church. I was made to understand that Godwin joined the police force and has just retired as an inspector of police. Dad says that he wrote the secondary school exam when he was still in primary 5 and passed at the first attempt. He continues, my father struggled and used what is known as esusu to pay for my school fees. He made sure that he didn't collect all of his money at once, but collected enough to pay fees a term at a time. I attended the Kwaibo Mission School Etinan between 1950 and 1956. When I was in secondary school, my father said that I must be a teacher. I said, if I must be a teacher, I must be trained. So I took the entrance exam to Government Teacher Training College, Uyo, and passed. I was invited for the interview at the Government Teacher Training College. The interview went very well, but I wasn't sure I'd be taken because my colleagues said I was too tiny. During the interview, they didn't really ask me any questions. My classmates were asked difficult questions and spent up to 30 minutes. However, when it came to my turn, the principal asked, are you Eno Inanga? I said, yes. He said, okay, go. My classmates were laughing at me because they had been asked all these difficult questions and spent a lot longer, so I just didn't know which way around this would go. However, when the results came, I was taken. And so I spent 2 years training as a teacher after secondary school. This short memoir of my father would not be complete without special mention of my mother. I believe that God brought my parents together. You couldn't find a more opposite couple. Yes, opposites do attract. Their story is a reminder to all of us that it is possible to be married to the same person for almost 50 years and still continue to share new adventures. I now understand my mom's love for a particular song through it all. The words are as follows. I've had so many tears and sorrows. I've had questions for tomorrow. There's been times I didn't know right from wrong. But in every situation, God gave me blessed consolation that my trials come only to make me strong. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. So Mum, as you listen to this, I hope that you are comforted. I hope that you can look back and cherish the wonderful memories of the life that you and Dad shared for about 50 years. To my brothers, I hope that you too can cherish and treasure the special moments you spent with Dad. To my sisters-in-law, thank you for being part of this family. Dad loved you very much, and I hope that you too can look back with fondness at the time you spent with Dad. To his grandchildren, I know that not all of you got to meet Grandpa, but he loved you all very dearly, and I hope that this will serve as a reminder of where he started, and that we continue to document his stories and write them down. This way, his legacy continues to live. Thank you.